section 4 of this course. We'll be exploring how we can attach external electronics to the microbit. So far we have worked with all the sensors and all the output devices built into the microbit, but now we're going to see how to attach external output devices such as servos and also other sensors into the microbit. And you see all these pins down below, we'll be finally using them. So yeah, the microbit actually has 25 pins, but only 3 of those pins, pin 0, 1 and 2, are big and easy to connect. You can use something like alligator clips to connect to pins 1, 2 and 3, or we can use an external sort of like a shield. Those are called shields, so something you can plug in to the microbit to use all the other small 22 pins. Do note, however, that the other 22 pins do usually have dual purposes, so sometimes the buttons that you see here might be connected to those pins, or some one of the screen lights might be connected to those pins. So if you do repurpose those small pins, we might lose functionality of the inbuilt sensors or the inbuilt output devices. So just do note that we can still use those output pins nonetheless. Anyway, and all the projects that we'll cover won't be using any of the extra pins. We'll only be using the base 0, 1, 2, those 3 pins. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to wire up any external electronics. Any electronics that you see will have 3 components to it, 3 core components. There'll be the power component, which is made out of 2 wires. Often it'll be the power and the ground wire. And the third component is the signal. Signal wires are usually just 1 wire, but some sensors and some output devices have 2, 3, 4, etc. wires. Usually they're just 1, and I'll clarify per video whenever we use a device that has more than 1 or less than 1 and how we can wire it. But let's all hop on over to the computer and I'll show you how we can look up something called data sheets. Data sheets are basically like a user manual for devices such as these, and we can use them to reference how to connect them to a microbit. The reason I want to teach you how data sheets work is that after this course, I want you to be able to connect any sensor that you would want to connect as well. So let's go on over to the microbit. Let's go on over to the computer and look at data sheets. So I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to type a sharp. Let's do a servo data sheet first. So I'm just going to type in servo data sheet. Oops, I see I misspelled it. Servo data sheet. So I'm going to open up this link. Again, this is just a general data sheet, but often you can find specific data sheets for the exact server that you have. I do happen to have a very identical server, so I'll use this data sheet. Coming down, you can see there are there's 3 signal wires over here. There's the PWM wire, which is orange. There's a VCC wire, which is red, and the ground wire, which is brown. You can see that in the overhead view as well. So now what we're going to do is, if you look at your microbit, there are multiple links here. There's 3 volts, there's ground on the extreme right, and then there's 0, 1, 2 as your normal pins. As we can see here, VCC and ground, if you've ever seen a normal AAA or AA battery, you will see there's a plus and a minus. The plus is usually the voltage and the minus stands for the ground. And as you can see over here, that's the same thing here. So the minus is brown, so that will connect to the ground, that cable will connect to the ground. The plus is VCC, that cable will connect to 3 volts here, and the last cable, which is yellow or orange, is a signal cable. It says PWM, which stands for pulse width modulation, but that's basically a signal cable and can be connected to any one of the pins, 0, 1, 2. It doesn't matter which pin you connect it to, but you just need to make sure that you remember the pin you've connected to and you properly assign it while coding. So the microbit knows, okay, the server is connected to pin 0 or pin 1 or whatever you choose. I'll show you an example for another data sheet as well and how you can reference that. One of the sensors we'll be using is a distance sensor. So I'll show you how to look up a data sheet for a distance sensor. So the sensor that I'll be using later is Sharp IR sensor. So I'm gonna search it. And this is the sensor that I'll be using. I'm gonna go down and look at the data sheet. And again, you can just search this, or wherever you buy your sensors from, there'll always be a link to a data sheet available. So seems like this page is down. I'll search again. Sharp IR Let's see if this one works. Yeah, so this one works. So don't worry too much about what you see on the datasheet. It can look quite intimidating, but it isn't. Just scroll down a little bit, and if you look here, this too has 3 terminals. It has the output terminal voltage, which is basically the sensor's output. It has the ground, which will again connect to the GND pin of your microbit, and it has supply voltage VCC, which will connect to the 3-volt pin. So 3-volt and ground are almost standard in any sensor, and the third signal wire will connect to any one of the 0, 1 or 2 pins, and in this case that's terminal number 1, indicated by the symbol V0. The VCC cable, or the power or the voltage cable, is usually red in color. The ground cable is almost always brown or black in color, and a signal cable can be anything from yellow, orange, white, and sometimes even green, but it's traditionally and most often a shade of yellow or orange. Another tool commonly used in external electronics is a multimeter. A multimeter isn't necessary for this course. In fact, none of the projects we use will really require it, except the next project, the audio outmeter, but that's only to help explain how signals go through a wire. You do not need to own one of these. Anyway, how a multimeter works is it can help you measure voltages, it can help you measure resistance, it can help you measure the number of amps a sensor is drawing, and one of the most useful features, in fact, for me, is the continuity tester, which can help us measure if 2 cables are connected and if there are or if 2 cables are shorted together. That means 2 cables that shouldn't be touching are touching at some point in your circuit. So again, don't worry about this. This is a tool, and I'll cover it more in depth in the next section, the audio out section, and we'll understand how to use this. But again, you don't need this for the course. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.